it's Mandy, and today I'm going to show you how to make dreadlock extensions. I'm almost 11 months into my journey now, and my hair started all the way down to the small of my back, and it has shrunk up quite a bit. I have it all pulled up right now, but just for an example, this piece used to be almost to my back. Look at that. That's crazy. And these were the ones I used to tie up the rest of my hair. But obviously I can't do that now. And I was just going to wait, let them grow out and do their own thing. I don't really do much maintenance or anything to them at all. But I've decided I've lost my patience. So I'm going to be adding extensions. And when I picked up my hair color, as you can see, these are bleached at the ends. They used to be purple. It's time for me to redo it because all the purple is finally gone. And when I picked up my hair color this time, I decided to go ahead and get a box of extensions. These are Remy brand. They're 18-inch, and I got blonde ones. So that way I didn't have to bleach them or anything first to color them. I'm going to color them and then go ahead and attach. But I'm going to show you real quickly. It's a lot easier than I thought it was. I don't know why I didn't do this sooner. Anyhow, I have 2 left to make. I have already made, I think this is 11 of them here, of various different sizes. Let me show you. And yeah. So far we have 11 because all my locks are completely different sizes. I got a couple of little tiny ones. I'm hoping I can find a place for them. I think I have a couple of little spots right up here because they will look good framed around the face, I think. Anyhow, I also got some big old fat locks too, so I made me a couple of those. But you can probably make them, however thick you want and do them completely uniform if you like. Mine are different sizes, so I wanted different sizes. But these are the ultimate goal. And I think they turned out very nicely for my first time at doing extensions. But anyhow, right to it. So obviously you're going to need hair. Yes, it doesn't matter which brand you do, but I would recommend human hair because I've heard that synthetic hair eventually breaks and doesn't hold up like real human hair will. You're going to need a comb and a crochet hook. The one I am using, it's really, really tiny. If you can even see that little hook right there. Let's see if we can get it to focus in a little bit. It is itty bitty, and this one is a 0.75. I think I just ordered a whole bunch of these off of Amazon for like $2 or $3 a piece, and I got various sizes. I've tried with the larger ones that I've seen in other tutorial videos, and even the latch hooks, but they're like so big I couldn't get them to work well, as well as just a tiny little crochet hook. So that's what we'll be using. And I recommend a coat hanger would be helpful to you to hold the dread while you're dreading it and crocheting it. That's kind of what I do. Sometimes I just put it between my knees, but it's a lot easier when you have something to kind of hang it on to. I suppose if you got the kind that didn't have the weft on it, maybe you would have to clip it or something. But anyhow, those are all the things that you need. And I think I got this for like right at $100. But it had several different ones. It had one 8-inch, one 7-inch, one 6-inch, one 5 3/4 inch, 4. Oh, that's not right. I didn't get 4 of anything. Regardless, it has so many different sizes plus a couple extra clips, but we're not clipping them in, so we don't need that. But they are quite helpful if you ever want to make like a decoration to just put in at one point in time where you can easily take it out. You can use it with a clip. But they do kind of get stuck in your dreads a little bit if you're not careful. Anyhow, so that's the hair. And for the thickness that I want, I'm going to go for something about this size right here. This is probably about as thick as maybe a Sharpie. And I'm going to use this weft And this will make 2. These are single. Now I've heard you could get the double wefted, and those work better probably. But what we're going to do here is I'm going to fold this over and take part of this hair from that one, so that way I can fold this over and make a separate one. And so one's going to be a little bit thinner than the other, unless I take a little bit more hair. So this is what we're going to start with, and this is going to make 2. So the first thing that you're going to do is the one that we're going to work on is the only one. This one's just going to hang off the side of the hanger. I'm going to adjust you now so you can see what I'm doing, but I'm basically going to hang this on. You'll see. And then we get all set up here. Now I'm going to get started on showing you this one, and then I'll probably pause and finish it up later because we're going to the Japanese Moon Festival this evening, and I have to get ready for that. Okay, let me show you what I'm doing here. Alright, you should be able to see that. I'll move a little bit. Alright, we have the weft folded in half. It'd be easier if you wanted, you could also put a little band on it to hold it, since we're using 2. We'll just band it up real quick a little bit. Okay, there we go. That's good enough. And I am slipping this part right through. I'm just leaving that part to dangle. This is what we're going to work with. And we're going to dread this one with a combination of twist and rip and back comb. So we're just making a dread right now. You should probably already know how to do that at this point. But if you don't, it's real simple. Make sure your hair is all nice and smooth and together. And then what we're going to do is we're going to twist it around once. And then we're just going to get all the way to the end here and rip. You see how it starts to make it poofy? I usually rip a couple of times and grab a different little section of hair and rip. Okay, and then we're going to stop. We're going to smooth it back out again. Just once, twist twice, and rip. And rip. Let's see, we're getting this nice little dread starting here, a big old puff ball. That's totally what they should look like, and that's what we're going for. So now we're going to twist, twist, and rip, and rip. And once we get about this much started, that's when you get your comb. And you back on 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of twist it around. Basically, you're going to repeat this process until you have a whole full dread. And I'll show you one more time. Oops. Sorry. You're going to twist it around your finger once and twice, all the way down to the end, and rip, pull it up, grab a few different strands of hair, and rip all the way to the end. And see, now you have this humongous puff ball. You're just going to do this over and over until you get all the way to the end of your dread. Okay, so we need to start with the dread. And then we're going to basically crochet a frame all the way around the dread that you're creating. And that's going to help it match your other dreads a little bit better. 1, 2. And it's going to let this mature inside that little cage that we're going to make. Like a little frame right around it. 1, 2, over twist all the way to the end. And rip. Rip. Let's see, after about every 1.5 to 2 inches, and you're going to get your comb and just kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, kind of combing in a little bit. We're back combing. We're just pushing the comb in and sliding it forward. Pushing the comb in and sliding it forward. So keep doing that until you're all the way to the end, and then I'll show you how to crochet it. It started raining on us a little bit outside, but hopefully it won't be loud or anything. But this is what it should look like when you are finished. You have this nice, fluffy, twist and rip dreadlock. And hopefully you can see that. Let me focus. That's basically what a dreadlock looks like when you have created it with the twist and rip method. A lot of people started their dreads this way. And when they kind of mature and lock up, they kind of give that little bit of a braided look to them. So they're kind of pretty, but mine weren't started this way. I did mine with just back combing. This method takes just a little bit longer to mature, and I've heard it has less shrinkage. Obviously, we know my problem with shrinkage. So maybe these locks extensions will help me out in that aspect. Anyway, so you have, oh, and also remember, if you'll notice, I have no rings or bracelets or anything. When you're making these things, definitely take off your jewelry because they snag. No matter what it is, somehow I always get it to snag. And also the lock extensions that you're making will also go through the maturing phase, just like your regular locks. So if your locks are new, well then your extensions hopefully won't be too far behind and do just about everything that your dreadlocks go through anyway. If yours are more mature, like mine, which are almost mature, they're just about there completely, it's like starting all over. But hopefully this method will keep them looking more like dreadlocks longer. Anyhow, now is when you need your crochet hook. And again, I am using a 0.75 millimeter. And what we're going to do, and I'll leave my legs in a little closer here. What we're going to do to this dreadlock, we're going to basically build a frame around it. So keeping this lock all nice and squishy inside so that it can mature. Let's move that other one out of the way. Pardon the shaking for a minute. We're going to go ahead and build our frame around our lock. And it's very, very easy. It's just kind of time consuming. And I hope that this is clear enough for you to see. Let me move it on over just a little bit. Keep my feet up, legs off of there. Okay. This is when the hanger comes in handy because you can kind of just hold it there and pull on it and still work on this dreadlock. So you hold your needle like so. The printed part, if you have a printed part, is usually where the actual needle is. And you're going to go straight through the middle of the dreadlock, just a little bit farther down than where my band is. Basically where it starts getting all fluffy. You're going to go straight through the middle, all the way to the outside, and pull straight up and bring in just a little loop, little bunch of hair. So that's why it's so tiny, so it only grabs just a little so you don't get too much. So we're going straight through, and we're coming up, and this is what we have, is a small loop of hair. And we're going to bring it around and grab just a little bit of hair from the outside And I have to place my thumb here, but basically what we're doing is we're getting the loop of hair that we just gathered and pulling it underneath the first hair that we pulled out. And how you do this is you gently place your thumb here, and you'll scrape that little hook right through. And if you'll notice, you probably can't see yet, but you'll see as we progress, that you pulled that one little loop under the other loop. And now we're just going to consistently do that while we spin the dread around over and over. We're going to come through and get another tiny bit of hair, pull it through, twist it around a little bit more. Pull it through, twist it around, pull it through. I'm going to do this a few times, and then I'll show you what it does. It starts to lock up, well, not lock up, but frame that poofiness and kind of get it under control. And we're just going to go under and under, over and over, around, until we start to get a nice little base going. Now, we're not ever going straight in the middle of the dread, just on the outside, and pulling a little bit of that hair through, and then going around to another spot and pulling a little bit of that through. Over and over. We wind up getting all this poofy hair on the outside as we're twisting the extension. Here, and you just go straight through the middle of the dread, just a few times to lock that in, and then that should hold it. And if you can see here, this is what we're kind of starting to form, is an actual dreadlock. Now it'll start to show a lot more here in just a moment. I'm going to do a little bit more and show you what it's supposed to look like. It's supposed to still be squishy, but be caged. All of this fluff is going to be brought in to form an outline around. So, and you get that back on there, and I'll do just a little bit more and show you what that's going to look like. Okay, now as you can see, focus in, we are starting to build a little frame around all of this brand new fluffy baby dread. It's all caged in. It's still nice and squishy. Well, it gets a little bit firm as you close it in, but it should still have some squish to it. And that will allow all of this to mature inside this little cage. But like I said before, you are going to have to go through the phase of your extensions actually maturing, because that's just what they do. But anyhow, I think this is much better than synthetic extensions, which of course you could always go with wool and stuff. A lot of people put wool extensions in their hair. I just didn't want to go for that. I wanted mine to be natural hair. I'm going to continue doing a little bit more of this, but you do it all the way down to the end. You're just taking a piece of hair from the middle. If you didn't get it already, you're taking a piece of hair from about right here through the middle, all the way through, pulling it out so you have a little loop. And then you're just going to grab a little bit of hair, stick your thumb right here, and gently pull it through, and it loops itself. It's like you're building a basket, weaving or something. Well, I don't know how to weave, but I'm certain this is probably not like weaving. Sorry for the lighting. It's starting to get even worse out here. I thought it'd be better in the outside because my house is so dark. But I'm going to do a little bit more of this, and I'll get back with you and show you. I might be rained out for our moon festival this evening, so we might just get this all done in one time instead of 2 takes. Anyhow, I'll show you what it looks like when we're finished. And here's one little trick that I learned on how to do it pretty comfortably. You'll see I have the hanger on my foot, and I can just sit here with that little thing on my toe there and work and work and work, just like that. It's quite comfortable. It pulls gently onto the extension, so you can work very easily and very quickly. It takes, I guess, depending on the hair and how tight you're doing it, or how thick it is, I mean. It can take anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour to complete one extension in this method. It takes at least 10 minutes to twist and rip each one first before starting, and then you do your crochet. And you'll hear, I don't know if you can hear it, but this is what it sounds like. And that sound is kind of alarming at first, but it's okay. You just don't want it to pop. That is the sound of hair breaking. And we don't want to break the hair. We just want to basically weave our little basket around our brand new baby dread. Okay, so as you can see, I have got it a third of the way completed. It's starting to get dark out here because of the rain, and I have to stop for a moment to go and get ready for the Moon Festival. So I will probably finish up the rest of it later tonight and show you what it looks like then. I actually have 2 to finish. This is my very last one, and then I'll have I think 12 out of this pack. This pack that I bought from Sally's Beauty Supply. That will have given me 12 different size extensions. But anyhow, you can see it's looking great. Get some more focus on there. Oops, there went my needle. But I'll finish up the rest of it later and show you what it looks like. Okay. Well, my Moon Festival was canceled because of the rain. But anyhow, that let me stay home and finish the last 2 extensions. And I just wanted to show you how they all turned out. Out of that one pack of hair that I got 13 various 18-inch, well, they're not 18 inches anymore, extensions. And that range in size from pencil thin to some medium ones. And I even got a couple of nice fatties. And if you can see, these look pretty good. Bring it into focus. And next, I'm going to color these purple with little blue bands and work on getting them installed. So, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, let me know. Bye.